J&J's Next Play. As always, I am your co-host Julio. Alongside me, I got my boy Juan.
What's up? What's up, everybody?
Juan, pretty crazy week, huh? NFL came back. We have a bunch of games, a bunch of surprises, I want to say. So let's start off with the first game of the season for the NFL. We had Eagles versus Cowboys, and that game got suspended because of weather. But from what you saw from that game, Juan, what can you tell me?
I saw a couple things. I saw what we should expect from the Eagles, which is a great running game, having Saquon back there in the backfield. But I also saw a confident Jalen Hurts. It looks like he didn't even take a day off, hitting multiple targets. I did catch on though to something that was going across the game, which was AJ Brown not getting a lot of targets. But I'm pretty sure he didn't mind. It's game one, it's week one. I'm pretty sure the game plan of the Eagles was to go more with Saquon, hit a couple different targets, and move forward with that. But I will tell you this: the Cowboys didn't play a bad game, and everybody was kind of, trashing them because of the whole Michael Parsons deal and the whole situation with that going on, and them giving him up. But they didn't actually do that bad. Um, they actually played a pretty solid game. Dak Prescott threw the ball well, and it actually came down to the final minutes where they've actually could have overturned the result of that game. But CeeDee Lamb, he went live, took accountability for his actions, and he dropped four key passes that could have been crucial. But I will say this, CeeDee, don't feel bad because you were not the only receiver that dropped a couple passes this first week in week one.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, season just started, and I feel like as time progresses, some of these guys will, start to get the feel for the game, and overall, we'll probably start seeing less and less of that, as the weeks go on. First game of the season, they all get the butterflies, they're all nervous. Cowboys obviously had a bunch of headlines going into the game with, trading away Parsons, which the announcers did not stop talking about that before, during, and after the game. Now, guys, it happened. It is what it is. Keep moving forward with it. Another thing that happened, Aaron Rodgers made his Steelers debut and won the game by two. Aaron Rodgers, obviously in that game, still showed that he still has it in him to compete. Now, my thing is, one, how did he look? When you were watching the game, and do you feel like this is maybe his last year?
Well, it's definitely his last year. He announced it. I don't think he's gonna be competing another season. I don't think it's worth for him
I
to be
mean,
competing another season.
to be fair, Brett
But
Favre announced how many times he was going to retire and kept on playing, but whatever.
he's done. He's done after this season. There was one play where I saw him taking a sack and his leg didn't even bend, and I thought that was it for him. I thought he was gonna go off the field and get carted off. But I mean, the Steelers. Listen, the Steelers are always gonna be competitive. They have Mike Tomlin as their coach, one of the best um, coaches competitively to be in the game. He's managed to get the playoff record for the Steelers and have them in contention as a playoff team every year. Won a Super Bowl as well as the coach. But overall, I mean, the Steelers have also DK Metcalf now added to the rotation. And he caught one of those crazy little passes where it was basically going all over the place on the media, where the ball basically tumbled down and he was on the ground and he caught it with his left hand, I think, and he managed to make a play. But I will say the Jets didn't disappoint. I think the Jets have a lot to be excited about having Justin Fields over there and that young group that they have going on over there in New York. And I think they have a lot of energy moving forward to be a solid team. I don't know if they're gonna immediately become a playoff team. I don't think so. I think maybe they caused a lot of disappointments this season to some of the playoff teams and some of the contenders because they do have a nice squad. And Justin Fields, obviously, just like Aaron Rodgers, that was a prove it game because both quarterbacks had just played for those two teams. Um, and I know Justin Fields was itching to get that win because he wanted to look over at that side and be like, You should have not let me go. You should have not let me go. You should have kept me, and I would have been that guy for you guys. But the NFL has shown us time after time. They'll trade you, they'll let you go, and you're just gonna have to move forward with it.
All right. And then before I get to the real topic of this of today, how about them Bills and Ravens, man? I went to I went to sleep. I saw the game. It was what 40-25 with 4 minutes left, and I'm like, you know what? Ravens have been dominant all game. There's no way that the Bills come back from this. And before you know it, I woke up and it's like, wait a second, huh? One, they beat them by what was final score? 41-40.
41-40, and your reaction was just not only your reaction. That was America's reaction to that game. That was an epic Sunday night battle of Week One. The Ravens started hot. They did what they had to do. I mean, arguably so. The Ravens are predicted to go to the Super Bowl. They have one of the best rosters as it is, but things happen. You know, they were out in Buffalo, and Buffalo showed up in the final moments of the game. There was 4 minutes. There was a game to close out, and the Ravens failed to close it out. But I will say this: the Bills had a little bit of luck going at the end in that little game there. Starting with the tipped pass touchdown that led them to get a little bit closer. Then also Derrick Henry fumbling the ball, which was strange to see Derrick Henry fumbling the ball, but it happens. It happens. It was like seeing the battle of Goliath out here. The Ravens were clearly being the heavy hitter. They were the favorites. I think at one point when they showed the odds of that game with 4 minutes remaining, the Ravens basically had a 91 percentage chance of basically winning that game compared to like the 9% or 10% that the Bills had at the moment, and that quickly changed. Basically it ain't over till it's over, player.
Hmm. And now we get to the topic of the week. Juan, the Dolphins looked absolutely terrible this week. Watching the game was
I mean, I
so.
don't know what you expected.
Look. I don't expect much from the Dolphins, kind of like I don't expect much from the Marlins. But the fact is, first day of, first game of the season, for me to say, you know what, I'm done watching them for the day, and I switched over to watch the Marlins play and actually win the game. It tells you a lot, man. I was really hyped for the game. At the end of the day, they keep saying that
You were
Tua's
hyped for the
healthy.
Dolphins? I feel sorry for you.
Okay, look, all right, Mr. Patriots fan over here. At the end of the day, I'm always gonna support all of my teams. From Miami. At the end of the day, I wouldn't say hype. Hype was the wrong word. How about I was just excited that NFL season started. One of America's a sport came back. The Dolphins were playing, and dude, it just looked like they had me at QB out there. Like the team looked dysfunctional after the game. McDaniel's couldn't even complete a sentence. Juan, what are your thoughts on the Dolphins, and where do they stand?
Well, now that you mentioned they had you at QB, I'm kind of like intrigued of how that would actually look. Julito at quarterback.
Ah, but look, at this point, with the way Tua was throwing the ball yesterday, coño, dog. No joda.
But nonetheless, I mean, again, come on. The Dolphins do it every year, and it's gonna be the same thing this year. They're gonna hype everybody up. Everybody's gonna be hyped. Oh my God, we still have Tyreek. We still have Waddle. We have a nice little defense. We have, we finally drafted a couple O lines. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It always comes down to the Dolphins being the Dolphins. They're their biggest enemies, but not. I mean, in this game, they weren't even. They didn't even have the chance to be their biggest enemy. They just flat out got whooped. It's the truth. Which they got whooped to Daniel Jones, a quarterback that just came from the Giants, number one, and basically just moved into Indianapolis and started to become friends with the guys there, and he just went in there and tore them apart. 33-8 was the final score. Yeah, the Dolphins got punched in the mouth. There's no excuse for them. They looked sorry. Um, they look pathetic, to be honest. And they look like a team that hasn't even practiced once over the summer or in the off season. I don't know what they did in the off season. Like, I don't even know if they even
Well,
talk to each other or bother like telling each other, hey, by the way, we got practice today. Like, I don't know.
according to social media, McDaniel was more concerned about playing music during practices and I guess working on anything. But I don't know if you had a chance to see his post game interview, bro. It looks awful. Like you can tell that man knows he's in the hot seat. He knows all eyes are on him, and right now, I mean, I don't know one. I don't know how you feel about it, but honestly, like I think game one for the season showed a lot. And to be quite honest, how soon would it be too soon for them to start hitting the panic button already?
Well, there's a couple things I want to touch up on here because there's a couple details to chime in here. I feel like honestly like if as the seasons have progressed and coaches have gotten younger or there's been a different atmosphere of coaches stepping into head coaching positions, I think it's just been a natural effect of showing, okay, who really is meant to be a head coach and who's not. We could take Robert Sala as an example. He was at the 49ers. They're at the top of their game. And he took a chance on himself. They offered him a contract. He said, why not? I get a chance to make more money and go live on my dream as a head coach. And guess what? Sucked ass. Got to the Jets, had miserable seasons, and immediately got fired. Some people are just not meant to be a head coach, and I think McDaniel is in that conversation. Like McDaniel looks out here like he's trying to do side quests every other day. When I'm serious. Like everybody laughs, you laugh, but I'm serious. You YouTube the Dolphins practices, and the guy's doing cartwheels and backflips instead of focusing on how to direct this team in a better direction. And at this point, it's just making the Dolphins look more of a joke than what they already are. Like clearly, Tyreek is frustrated. I'm pretty sure Tyreek is not the only one that's frustrated on that team. But Tyreek has his issues, as we know. I really do think that his frustration is not only from football. I also think it's from that big load of money that he's having to cough up to his ex-wife now after settling in that divorce. But besides that, to answer the question, I I see McDaniel's fired either mid-season or before the season ends, and they're gonna put an intern head coach, and then from there we're gonna see who becomes the next head coach of the Dolphins. But I don't know, I just don't see McDaniel's finishing the season. I don't I don't think he I think if anything, I go back to what you just said, like him realizing that he's not for sure in the hot seat, like he no longer gets to like be the scapegoat or hide and be like who kind of just playing here side quest. Like let me play head coach one day and then the next day let me play assistant coach. Like no, you don't get that opportunity anymore. You got hired as the head coach, so step up. Do your job as you're told. As you're told, no, do your job. Like you're the one telling people how to do their job. So that's what it really comes down to. I just don't think he's meant for a head coaching position.
I mean, the way I see it, I mean, after the game ended, honestly, like I've talked to a couple people, and quite honestly, I think that McDaniel will finish the season as head coach. Do I
Who
see
are you
him
people?
next year?
Who are you people? Because I want to talk to them. I want to talk to those people, and
Well,
I
one
want
of
to tell
them
them
we share an office with,
are they looking at the same game that we looked at week
but
one, and
time
are they
out. Let
looking at the past 2 to 3 seasons?
Hey, look. Stop yelling at me. All right.
Hey, nah, it's gonna happen.
Look,
It's gonna happen because
the way
somebody.
I see it, the way I see it is this. I feel like right now, after game one, just watching the game, I feel like McDaniel will probably and the team, they'll probably muster a couple wins here and there. You know the Dolphins. The
You're right
Dolphins
about him
either
ending the team. Like
look
he's gonna destroy that team more than it
look
already is.
The Dolphins either start 3-0 or they start 0-3. At some point they catch fire along the way. I honestly feel that at this point having anyone as an interim head coach, it's pretty much you hitting the restart button mid-season. I don't think Tyreek Hill does finish the year as a Dolphin. I think the Dolphins at this point, whatever you can get out of him, and that quote by someone that me and you both know, trading for McChicken. At this point, I think they're gonna try to get anything they can for that guy. Who I don't know who else they might trade on that team. I know they have Waddle. Ain't no one gonna go for Tua at this point. The Dolphins are gonna have to swallow that massive contract they gave him. Which, honest to God, dude, like I know I've told you before when we're at work. I don't think you have to be a genius to run a damn team. You just have to make smart decisions, look at the numbers, and do what's right. I don't know in what sense in the world did it ever occur to the team to offer that guy all that boatload of money. Because ever since they offered him all that money, what happened with that season where the Dolphins had like what they were like 10-6, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah, they made the playoffs and then they got blown out
Yeah,
against Buffalo.
they made the playoffs. Tua got all that money, and then how did the Dolphins start that year? Tyreek Hill got arrested getting to the game that year. And then a couple games later, Tua had it was concussion after concussion. So again, I don't, I wish nothing well for the guy. It kind of sucks that you have to be start your professional career with someone always asking you about your health and your concussion and all that other stuff. But dude, like at the end of the day, I you can't move Tua. You're gonna have to get rid of Tyreek. You're gonna have to get rid of Waddle. I don't think the Dolphins have any running backs of any value other than some rooks that they got. And dude, at this point, I mean, I see McDaniel, like I told you, finishing the year, and they're gonna tell him thank you for your services. They're gonna have to draft smart, and they're gonna have to bring in a new guy and be like, oh yeah, like esto es lo que te tocó. Try to figure it out. I think Tua signed that was like what, like a 4 year, 200 something million with like 100 something guaranteed. Uh, I mean, you know what?
Donation money.
Let me stack check myself on that.
Yeah, he got donation money. I mean, at the end of the day, the Dolphins made a decision clearly, and they went all in with Tua. And unfortunately, it's biting them in the ass more than ever because clearly the guy doesn't know
So here we
better
go.
what way to throw the ball in.
Four
He had three
years,
interceptions. Three
Four
interceptions.
years, 212 million with 167 guaranteed, meaning that is 167 million that you just threw out the window.
I'm waiting to volunteer to put me in pads and put me at quarterback, and I do better than
Papo,
Tua.
for that amount of money, yo me pongo todo eso y que me cagan a piñazo en medio del terreno, pero that's all that guy does pretty much. And
I'll
if you wanted
probably
it,
disappear with one tackle, and I
hey
probably
look,
won't be able to get
if
up.
two
But
wasn't gonna get paid that much to throw three interceptions, Papo, that's cake for me. I'll do that for less, but at this point, it really is looking rough for the Dolphins, and for just like in any sport, it kind of sucks. All right, me being a Marlins fan, I know what to expect from the Marlins almost on an every year basis. I know we're gonna be fighting for third place, postseason's out the window before the season begins, but when you're the Dolphins and you actually have stars on your team, you actually
come
you have
on.
an owner that wants to spend the money for you to wait all year to get this product in return, dude, it absolutely sucks. And obviously, me and you know that we share an office space with quite a couple Dolphins fans. And if the Dolphins would have won yesterday, it would have been a complete different story. Hey, won the Super Bowl. If Dolphins ain't going to Super Bowl anytime soon. If I'm not
Coulda, shoulda,
mistaken,
woulda,
someone,
but didn't.
huh?
I said coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't. Guess what? Y'all lost, and y'all just didn't lose. Y'all got your ass whooped. So, you know what you had to do today? You had to wake up, face it again, to realize that you're gonna have another bad season. Sorry for your loss, Dolphins
So
fans.
now, you ready for this one? I got a little crazy fun fact for you. The last time the Miami Dolphins had a playoff victory occurred on December 30th of the year 2000 when they actually defeated the Colts 23 to 17. So you're telling me that the Dolphins have not won a playoff game in 25 years. And the one team that I've been mentioning quite often, the Marlins, they won a championship in 2003. And they also won a couple playoff games against the Cubs in 2020 in the short season. So that's a fun fact for you football fans and Miami Dolphins fans, because I'm sick and tired of hearing the undefeated season. Yo, guess what? Chances are if you're listening to this, you weren't even alive for the undefeated season. So don't come with that, man. But not to steer away too much from the topic, I think McDaniel will finish the season as head coach as long if he continues to lose, he cannot continue talking to the press after the game because, bro, I'm telling you, it's pure comedy if you watch his post game interview.
Yeah, the guy doesn't care about the job. He already knows he's fired. What he knows he's fired. Like
Yo.
let's bring the elephant out of the room. Let's stop being patty cake out here and let's say it how it is. He's done after this season, whether he makes it to the end, whether it's in the middle, whether it's now within the next few games that they drop. I it's like I don't know what to tell you. The guy just isn't meant, or maybe it's not that he's not meant. Maybe it's that he's not ready to be a head coach. Maybe he thought he was, and guess what? The league slaps him in the face and is telling him, "Papa, you gotta go back. You gotta go figure it out."
Yo, man, why you being so harsh on the man, bro? He got a family to feed, Juan.
He's a grown man. I'm a grown man too. So are you. Hey, aquí qué pasa?
So it's funny because actually before I bring up this
Listen,
fact,
if he does get fired, it's not like he's not just gonna get out to the streets. With his connections, network. He's easily gonna get another gig somewhere there. Anybody now becomes an analyst all of a sudden.
so I wanted to bring you up this fun fact. It's a myth. But before I bring it up, Juan, are you a believer in sport curses by any chance?
Yeah, it's called the Miami Dolphins.
Come on, man. I
Ah!
mean, again, like growing up as a baseball fan, I know there was the curse of the Bambino. The Red Sox traded away Babe Ruth to the Yankees and didn't win another World Series title for like another, 100 something years, pretty much. Then you had the curse of the Billy Goat and the Chicago Cubs. They didn't allow a fan to go inside the stadium with his pet goat, and because of that, he cursed the team, and it took them, 100 plus years also to win a World Series. Um, so again, I ask you, do you believe in any curses like that? Do you know of any currently that are in sports right now?
I do.
Which one?
And I'm once again gonna say it. It's called the Miami Dolphins. I mean, look, listen.
I
People are
hate to
hiding.
say.
People are hiding. Today I had a conversation with a Dolphins fan, and as soon as I brought up the Dolphins, they were like, "What are you talking about? I don't even follow or support the Dolphins anymore." I'm like, "Wow, look at
Well,
this! Now a sports organization is causing trauma even more in people's lives from what they already deal with. This is unbearable, unbelievable, unacceptable."
the reason I bring this up is actually on the internet. I mean, sources may vary. People say that there's no real proof out there that this actually happened, but Joe Robbie Stadium, aka Hard Rock Stadium, that was built in 1985, allegedly, while under construction, people discovered that the ground in which the stadium was built was an Indian burial ground. And it just so happens to be that once the stadium was built, the Dolphins really have never had the same luck that they had when they went undefeated. They had a great QB in Dan Marino that never, probably one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play, never got a ring. Some sources say that they even found, pieces of human bone, ancient artifacts. Again, they're saying that it's more of a myth than anything, but when you have a franchise like the Dolphins, who haven't won in, what was the last time they won in 73?
Beats
Dude,
me.
it's, it's getting up there when, let's see. It's getting up there in the years that they just again no success in the playoffs, and they just haven't won anything.
Screw the playoffs. No success in the regular season. And yes, for those smartasses that are out there and thinking the same thing I'm thinking in my head, I know. Yes, with having a successful regular season, you get to the playoffs. Yeah, we get it. Ha ha. But listen, one
So
thing I'm gonna say
so
is,
53 years ago since their last Super Bowl win.
yeah. Again, listen, we're stating unrelatable things here. Like nobody cares about the Dolphins. Like what is going on with the Dolphins? Who's going with the Dolphins? Where are the Dolphins going? Nobody cares. Hoobla hiya. Nobody cares. I'll tell you what they do care about. And I'll tell you what's admirable of what you were just doing. You were just doing what every Dolphins fan tries to do. Still find a positive and saying the reason why the Dolphins are losing is because they're cursed. Oh my goodness, we've gotten to this point, folks. Well, this is the
Again,
point
I'm
that got
I'm
us.
just bringing up what someone in our office who you share an office with, shout out to Eddie who brought it up. He, I guess, read a part
Eddie, I'm
online
sorry
somewhere,
for your
and
loss
again,
too. We
and
can talk
Eddie,
about it,
you
bro.
know, Eddie's a
There's therapy
hardcore,
available.
Eddie is a hardcore Dolphins fan,
Oh
and at
my god.
some point, I just feel like when franchises like the Dolphins go through all these years of just not winning anything, they have to start coming up with crap pretty much. Because at the end of the day, like I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
theories, curses, anything. I mean, I don't know. He lost this game because he didn't tie his shoe. Oh, here we go. All right.
He didn't tie his shoe. You're stupid, bro. Anywho, I'm here looking at some of the week 2 games, and I guess some games that
Bum,
pop up to me.
ba-da-da.
Dolphins play your
Hold
team, the
on, hold on, hold on.
Patriots.
Before we go into week 2, we gotta talk about the Chargers and the Chiefs that played on Friday.
Chargers and the Chiefs. Ah, you are correct.
And
First game in Brazil, free on YouTube. Which
yeah,
for
shout
any
out to
of
you
you,
two for the free game. I got to watch it because of them. Shout out to them, and y'all the plug.
was that before or after we lost 3 games in FIFA?
Listen, we're here talking about the NFL Week 1. We don't have to bring that type of traumatizing stuff up tonight, okay? No, we don't have to
But
talk.
yeah, you're absolutely correct. I guess before we move on to the next topic, how do you feel about how that game went? How about them Chiefs, huh?
All right, all right. I did pick the Chiefs to win that game, and I mean, I don't take it back, but at the same time, it's kind of like they kind of threw it in my face as to like I'm gonna be honest with you. I picked them because they were overhyped. Okay, yes, I picked them because they have the Super Bowls, this and that, and they're known as the Kansas City Chiefs. You have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, all these guys over there, right? But boy, what I saw on Friday night was concerning, folks. It was very concerning. I mean, Patrick Mahomes looked stressed. I'm gonna say it. Patrick Mahomes looked stressed. He had to become their running back. The guy was taking hits left and right. I mean, I'm not gonna hold him to it. He stiff armed the hell out of one guy and one of them, and he made a magic play on a fourth down conversion that brought him somewhat close to closing that game out. But you know who showed up to Brazil? You know who pulled up to Brazil? Justin Herbert said, "I'm here. I'm ready to reintroduce myself." And there's some folks out there. I'm not gonna put any names. You know, one of them might even be myself that believe that the reason why he played so well was because he has the support of Madison Beer now. I'm not gonna hold the boy to that. The boy is out there with the gal. Travis Kelsey had his rodeo with Taylor Swift, as we know. And Pat Mahomes has always had his wife supporting him. I ain't gonna hold him to that. But Hollywood pulled up, baby. Hollywood arrived in South America, in Brazil, showed up, showed out, connected for multiple consecutive passes and touchdowns, and they said, "Hi, we are the Chargers."
Hey, so now you bring up that, bro. Do you think Patrick Mahomes, plays his entire career as a Chief, or you think he'll have like an Aaron Rodgers route where later on in his career he goes and chases like more rings, chase like more of the GOAT conversation, or do you honestly just see him staying as a Chief forever?
I I so I would answer that question in the sense of I think he's the Steph Curry of the Chiefs.
Okay.
Like I do think he stays for as long as he can, unless something drastically happens and there's something that has to change and he gets I don't know. The only reason why I see him leaving is if he gets in some shape or form disrespected in a way he didn't see coming from the Chiefs organization. But besides that, I think he's taken many pages of the greats that came before him. Tom Brady. I'm not gonna put that name out there, but he did take a page out of his book, out of his contract and well, his lucrative contract, actually, 10 year, and I don't know how many M's it came with. He did, put money aside for that to go get some of the big fellas to protect him, because again, Tom Brady spoke about this
10
about
years, 503
success.
million, by the way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't make me depressed about how much money that guy makes, okay?
So meaning
Anyway,
he's gonna be a Chief for another 5 years, so he'll be a free agent at the age of 34.
yeah, and he's probably gonna sign an extension by then. um, but anyway, Tom Brady did voice how throughout his career he would invest in separating money from his contract to get protection for him. He would make sure that it would give money to the team to be able to get the best possible line and group of men that could protect him. Because guess what? How do you throw the ball successfully? Bingo. Staying protected long enough to throw it. It's not that hard. So, and aside from the way Tom Brady functions, which we all know is just different compared to other quarterbacks that have been in the league, Pat Mahomes took that page out of his book, and he's doing that now. I don't think Pat Mahomes has suffered from many injuries as of lately, and he's gonna continue to do that. And I don't see him leaving. I don't see him. I say Travis Kelsey retires within the next 2 to 3 years, with him already flirting with the idea of doing it last season anyway. His brother just retired too, and as we see the trend of players retiring from the NFL younger and younger by the day, it's just what it is now. It's the generation that we're in of players, and aside from that, the league is becoming aware of that because I also think that aside from all the studies that they've done with concussion protocol and all that good stuff, since they've noticed players are taking more of a cautious approach and being like, hey, you know what, like I might not want to play this game as much and as long as I used to anymore because the risks of me being basically a vegetable when I retire are really high. So in week one, you're already seeing the the little the helmet caps that are like about this
Oh,
size.
la cabeza de coco.
Yeah, that are about this size. And no, it's not the meme hat with those big ass hats. No, that's an actual helmet cap protecting players from being severely hit on the head from the side or anywhere, to be honest. But yeah, Pat Mahomes to me again, he's the Steph Curry of the Chiefs.
Hey man, and now before we move on from NFL, I just want to bring up one more thing. I know we bashed Tua earlier, and you spoke about how Justin Herbert came to play and all. Just so everybody's aware, in case they weren't, this dude got drafted after Tua got drafted. So I just wanted to point that out there that how much more different, Dolphins could have been at if they had Justin Herbert. But I'm not gonna go into more detail before one starts saying, Dolphin fan." So we'll leave
I
it
mean,
at that for
there's
today.
nothing for me to say. I mean, if you want me to continue investing in the Dolphins, that's
Look,
like a
at the
full
end of
time
the day,
job at
let's
this
see how the
point.
Dolphins do against your team, the Patriots, next week.
I mean, listen, if they don't beat the Patriots, then for sure the season's over. Because again, the Patriots have a new head coach, which he has a solid background. He just came from the Titans, and he did good stuff over there up in Tennessee. But again, like the Patriots are clearly still in that rebuilding stage. Like
Oh yeah,
they they're adamant actually to still being within that stage. They're not hiding it like the Dolphins are.
but
Nah.
now, but now,
the,
you ready for the matchup of the week
I'm
this week?
ready.
Eagles versus Chiefs.
Yes, yes, I'm hype about that game.
It's gonna
And
be a good
as
game.
we were actually speaking about this, as you know, previously, and I have reason to think. I'm just gonna say, I'm picking the Eagles in week two again, and I'm picking them against the Chiefs, Super Bowl rematch. But the Eagles are just healthier. Number one, the Chiefs lost a lot of lost pieces as it is already from the pieces that they already didn't have on the field, in Brazil, and they're just. It's like the league has already caught on to what the Chiefs can do. It's like, are you gonna run the ball wide, Pat Mahomes, or are you gonna hit Travis Kelsey on the post? We know it. It's predictable. And there's it's just the Eagles are the Eagles, and the Eagles look healthy right now. They look to be in good shape. I mean, the Eagles are in that zone, to be honest. They didn't even come out for their Super Bowl banner to be hung up because they don't want to be known as the reigning champions. They're ready to do it again, and that's the type of mentality that you gotta have to be a champion.
All right. So next thing I want to talk to you about, I want to talk to you about the clown of the WNBA, Angel Reese.
Hmm.
Um, Recently, she got suspended by her team, the Chicago Sky, for making some very nice comments about her teammates. And now some people are wondering whether or not her time in Chicago has come to a close. Juan, what are your thoughts on Caitlin Clark's biggest hater?
I mean, first and foremost, shout out to the league. As y'all can see, I'm wearing the WNBA shirt here. Some will say it's the worst league in the world. I say it's the next big project of the world.
Yeah,
But
right.
hey, I'm just showing my support. I'm being a good sport
Tax
out.
write off. Tax write off. But anywho,
Anyway, listen. What I will say is this, and I want everybody to pay attention. There ain't nothing wrong with calling your teammate trash. There ain't nothing wrong with calling your teammate out on their bullshit. But you don't do it on live TV. That was her mistake.
exactly.
That's something that you clearly keep in the locker room, or when you're practicing. For all I care, throw a jab at them. Don't
Look,
get caught like Draymond
I'm
Green
gonna
did.
talk about your favorite basketball player, Kobe Bryant.
Oh boy, be
In
careful.
many podcasts that people have come out, former teammates of his, everyone always said it that Kobe Bryant would always bash his teammates, but in practice, behind closed doors. You will never ever see Kobe Bryant talk poorly about his teammates live. You just wouldn't. That's something you keep behind closed doors. That's something that you do that to push your teammates to play better. To get their shit together. To be a leader. But to do it live on TV, like yo, look, listen. I understand you want to do commercials for, anything you possibly can. I understand you always want to continuously bash Caitlin Clark, and I don't know if you're doing this for like the media or for your namesake. But dude, to talk bad about your teammates just goes to show you how poor of a leader she probably is to her team. It shows a lot about her character, and to be quite honest, bro, I'm the Chicago Sky. I'm be like, look, bro, take your bullshit elsewhere, pack your bags, and ship her anywhere at this point. Because there's no fixing that one. Because it's easier to get rid of one person than an entire roster that dislikes one person.
I don't think it happens because, quite frankly, she's known as the face of the Chicago Sky, as it is. So I think
They didn't even make playoffs.
it's
What are we
fine.
talking about here?
To them, any type of publicity is good publicity. I mean, you just called them a tax write-off, so don't take it back. Don't take it back now.
Yeah, it is a tax write-off. She's not gonna make up for all your losses, especially for that one team.
Yeah, but it makes the organization somewhat relevant. I mean, anyway, to get right into the details about Angel Reese, um, and I'm not gonna lie, like if I were a teammate and she said that on live TV, like you catching these hands in practice, like you ain't about to bad mouth the team and what we got going on here, um, because you got in your feelings and you're frustrated about losing. Like ain't nobody out here like to lose. Ain't nobody out here comes out to compete just to lose. It is what it is. Like ain't nobody else said anything like, and you're seen as the leader of the team. So for you to come out and say that, like I'm glad the team actually gave her suspension. She deserved it, and she deserves more. To be honest, she should get sat for the rest of the season for what's remaining of it because it's like you clearly are in the right headspace to be on the court right now. So you go do what you gotta do until you get your head right.
Go play in Europe because again, I don't know, man. Me personally, based on what she did, I like your idea of suspending her for the rest of the season, but dude, at this point, package her for another team star, let them include another round pick of some sort, and bro, move on from her, bro. Because again, at first it's cute, it's nice. You have a rivalry between Caitlin Clark. You're getting all this media attention, cool. But yeah, at some point it does more damage than good. And yeah, good publicity, bad publicity, still publicity at the end of the day. But once you start, bringing negative publicity, sometimes, bro, you just gotta get rid of the negative there. And I think it's her, bro. And the fact is that I know me and you previously discussed this in another episode how the league continues to bash Caitlyn, and instead of putting her on the cover, you put her on the cover. So again, I just feel like all this that she does is just to create noise and create a buzz. And to be honest, I wouldn't doubt that her bashing her teammates like that was just another example of what you said, good or bad, publicity is still publicity. But at some point, cae pesado, dog. And at some point, you just gotta move on from that. But I guess me and you, that's where we don't see eye to eye. Because again, I still see the WNBA as a tax write-off, and you think it's the next big thing. Not local, like.
The next big project, man. Y'all gonna start have to stay tuned for that one.
So now, heading out a little bit from the sports world, Juan. As as the year comes to an end, I know we've spoken about Call of Duty and Battlefield. But to be honest, bro, that's not the game I was looking forward to this year. The game I was looking forward to this year, Juan, was Grand Theft Auto 6. And Grand Theft Auto 6, as some of you who, unless you live under a rock, are aware, GTA 6 got moved to next year, May, I believe. Juan, how much do you know about GTA 6 development and everything that they're bringing into the game?
Well, I know it's here in South Florida. It's about we
But
lit.
but you but you played GTA 5, right?
Yes, I did.
What would you agree that GTA 5 was probably one of the best games you've ever played?
I mean, GTA in general is always a fun game to play and get your hands on. There's a lot of different, I guess, worlds that you can step into within one when you play GTA. You go from being the hero to then being the bad guy, and then to all of a sudden ending up in a strip club all of a sudden. But um, GTA 6, what I expected it to get delayed. I think it's a massive game, although it's been 10 years in the making. You know how they roll with GTA. They want to make sure that it's perfect. They want to make sure that it's a good product. If a game took 10 years to make, you know it's good. So, unfortunately, I'm sorry for you having to wait a little bit longer. But when it comes
Look,
out,
man, I was just looking forward to it because obviously I'm gonna be entering paternity leave in about a month or so, and I was here thinking, get rico, I'm gonna be at home with the wife, the newborn, and I'm just gonna be playing GTA. And I was told, yeah, right, psych. But just kind of to give you an update on that. Someone came out and said that GTA is the first 5A game of its kind. So for those of you that don't know, Sony games such as God of War, Last of Us, they're considered first party games. They're created by the developers themselves of the console. You have AAA games, which are the games like Call of Duty, Battlefield. They're done by other studios, and then you have indie games, which are made by very smaller studios. They're saying that GTA 6 might blow every game ever known in existence out of the water with all the stuff they're gonna do. So just for reference, some of the things that we know for a fact GTA 6 is gonna have, the map is gonna be 3 times bigger than GTA 5. It's gonna have a world clock, so if it's nighttime in Miami where you're at, and you go play GTA, it's gonna be nighttime in the game. There's gonna be actual world events that happen while you're playing online. 67% of the buildings, you're gonna be able to go in them. And as we speak, they are currently hiring Roblox developers to continue expanding the game after release. So, again, GTA 5 came out when I was a senior in high school. That was. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. Hey,
Yeah.
déjala falta
I'm
el
a fuck
respeto.
yeah, dog. Yeah.
You're not that far from me, dog. So no me
Hey,
vengas, dog. What? I was a
hey,
senior. You were what? A sophomore? No joda.
bueno, vamos, there's a
Yeah,
difference.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
difference.
yeah. So I'm just really looking forward to this game because I just feel like when GTA 5 came out, I remember for a very long time and still to this day, people try to do open world games that match GTA 5, and it took a couple games to kind of figure it out, and it took them, some time. But now with GTA 6, if it has all of these things that they're talking about, you're talking about how many games are gonna want to try to set that standard. Hopefully, it's a good standard, not like the standard that Fortnite gave us, where now every game has skins and a battle pass and all that bullshit. Bro, look, at the end of the day, I don't care if you charge me $80 for a game, but let me get the complete game. Let me enjoy the game from beginning to end. Don't give me no freaking battle passes. Don't give me all this extra bullshit. I'm not gonna give you more money. I get it. You're trying to get the little kids to give you more money. I'm not gonna, GTA in a way kind of had it. You could have bought the virtual money on their online platform thing, but dude, it's not for me. I think it harms the game more. It sucks we're not getting GTA 6. In a way, I feel like GTA 6, not coming out will help Battlefield's case against Call of Duty, and that should be fun, in the upcoming months to see how each of them perform. But GTA 6, man, it sucks. Oh, and fun fact, this weekend I was at my local Target and I sent Juan a picture. They were fully stacked with Nintendo Switch 2s, and guess what? Ain't no one buying them. I've seen the Switch 2. I've held the Switch 2. It's nothing out of this world. And I'm not gonna pay $450 to play the new Mario Kart, which, my opinion, is kind of disappointing slash overrated. And a Donkey Kong game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I sent the picture to Juan and Juan. What did you reply me with? Ain't no one buying that shit.
Ain't nobody buying it, and as you just said, there's no reason why to invest literally $500 into a brand new console that only has two brand new games. Like, what are you gonna do there? You're just wasting your time and your money there. And aside from that, like, where are you gonna take this thing? Like, apparently you need some sort of like exact amount of power in your TV for it to actually look how it should look on the screen. Don't hold me to that. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but I saw that somewhere. I don't know.
But, alright, so to end today's podcast, instead of doing a draft, I decided to do something a little different. And I don't know if you can tell from Juan's face over there, he's looking a little nervous because I kind of told them what I wanted to do today. But trust me, Juan, it's not gonna catch you off guard. If you ever want to do this, with towards me, I guess you can have me in a nervous, state of mind. You can, but I'm gonna provide you with a fun fact, and then I'm gonna ask you the question. So, fun fact one: did you know that roughly about 62% of Americans drink soda on a daily basis?
Yes, I'm one of them.
What's your preferred drink, Juan?
So for you guys to know, I'm like, actually, I don't want to say it that way. I don't want this to be seen in a wrong way.
Here we go. Here we go. Juan's trying to get this podcast canceled before you even,
Nah, nah,
coño, dog.
nah. But so I don't drink and I don't smoke, but my version of alcohol, I guess you could say, is Coca Cola. Like there is times that comes to the point where I kind of have to tell myself like I need to take a break from it and drink more water because my body starts to let me know. But yeah, I do drink a lot of Coca Cola. I'm trying to get better at that. I'm seeking therapy to try to get better at that, and that'll go eventually. It's so much that I've gotten to the point where instead of drinking so much Coca Cola, I drink Coke Zero instead, to try to help the case.
Well, Juan. With that being said, can you guess? the top 10 most sold sodas in the world. Now, before we continue, I will tell you this: there is a variant on this list of diet. There is two drinks that are energy drinks, and then there's one that's to replenish your vitamins when playing a sport, which I think I've given away the answer to that one.
Hmm.
So one, can you guess these 10 brands of sodas?
I don't have to name them in order, right? I could just name them.
No, name it in order. As you guess them correctly, I'll tell you what number they are.
All right, Coca Cola.
Coca-Cola is number uno.
Told ya.
Come on, dog. I just gave you an answer with the last clue I gave you, dog. Come on.
Liquid IV.
Yeah,
Is that another one?
no, bro.
No. Oh my God.
Yo, Liquid IV comes in a powder, fool. I'm talking about que
Gatorade.
venga en botella, dog. And two are
Gatorade.
energy drinks.
Gatorade.
Gatorade's number 10.
Yeah.
So you got
Water.
1 in 10.
Water.
It's not a soda.
H2O.
It's a mineral that's vital for us to exist and to be alive.
I thought we were just naming drinks.
Come on, bro. Come on. Sodas.
Oh,
Come on. It's not hard.
Monster.
Monster is on this list. It's number 9.
Okay. Red
So
Bull.
there's two energy drinks.
I just said Red Bull.
Number 8.
Okay. Damn, so we got the bottom three. We got Sprite.
Sprite is number 5.
Hmm. Diet Coke.
Diet Coke is number 3.
Epa.
What's Coke's biggest competition?
Pepsi.
Number 2.
So which
So
one are we
now
missing?
you're just missing 4, 6, and 7.
Yeah. Powerade?
No, that's it. No, no more sports drinks.
Okay.
The last 3 are sodas.
Our sodas. Okay. Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper, which fun fact is my favorite soda, especially
I
the
like
cherry
Dr.
Dr.
Pepper.
Pepper is number 6.
I like Dr. Pepper too. Yeah, I can't
So
lie.
you're missing 4 and 7.
Eh, Fanta.
Fanta is number 4,
Hey, all right, boys. Here we go.
and
Lock
now
it.
you're missing number 7.
Yeah.
Number 7 has to be my least favorite soda.
Wow. Okay, so we said we.
And I guess in this case, depending how you see it, it's probably Sprite's competition.
Oh, damn. What's the rebranded one?
No, that's why I said in a way it will kind of be Sprite's competition, but not really. It's kind of its own unique thing.
Yeah.
People tend to get it a lot when they go to Taco Bell.
Baja Blast?
Made by
Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew is number 7. So that is the list. So in order you have Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Diet Coke, Fanta, Sprite, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, Red Bull, Monster, and Gatorade. Which is crazy they even put freaking Gatorade as a soda, but whatever. But yeah, guys. So instead of doing a draft, I'm gonna see if sometimes I do little tacky things like this. I usually say some fun facts somewhere along the lines of, you know, stuff like that, like how many Americans drink soda on a daily basis, blase blase.
Yeah, we'll
But
also make you guys laugh eventually every now and then talking about the Dolphins. We know everybody every now and then needs a good laugh in their system.
oh yeah, I mean at this point, if you want to watch comedy, just look up when the Dolphins are gonna play, and it's pure comedy for the 3 hours. You have to metete an hour of watching the game and 2 hours of watching commercials. So,
Yeah.
but with that being said, that'll conclude episode 4 now of our podcast. If you haven't, so please share, like, subscribe. We also have a series on YouTube where me and Juan are in our journey to Division 1 in FIFA. We do have some series planned other than FIFA. We may at some point, play some 2K. We may at some point play some Madden. We may, play some co-op story mode games just to, in case some of you guys never played such games, or I know Juan hasn't played a couple of these story mode games that I've been telling. Do you want to give him a sneak peek, Juan, or you want to keep that on the wraps for now?
No, I'm excited for the new Ghost game, October 2nd.
Oh, Ghost of
Um,
Yotai. So yeah, so we do plan on maybe sometimes hosting some lives on YouTube where we're playing the game and you guys get to see our reaction. Watch us play the game, maybe interact with us if we're not too focused, playing the game. But we do have a lot of things in mind, and if you haven't done so, go on our YouTube channel. I believe there's 2 videos up of us playing FIFA right now. Possible third by the time you watch this podcast, but like I said, if you haven't so, like, subscribe, share, and if you guys have any, questions, comments, anything, we're here. If you ever want to shout out on one of our episodes, let us know. If you want to contribute in any way, shape, or form, let us know. And with that being said, Juan, you want to add anything else, or you just want to keep making
no,
fun of the Dolphins over there?
yeah, yeah. Speaking about the Dolphins, kind of like got me
Here we go.
down a little bit. So I think I'll hold off for the rest of the night.
Well, guys, with that being said, that concludes episode 4 of J and J's Next Play. See you next time. Peace.